Boy, am I lucky that I'm not homeless in Great Britain, where they hate homeless people sleeping so much that they have covered cement park benches with cement spikes, so now nobody can use it. You hate homeless people so much, you won't even let them sleep? Disgusting. Boy, am I lucky that I live in the United States of America, where they don't put up, holy shit, yes they do. So, yes, we have the two leading first world countries leading. That's right. The Western Hemisphere. Russia's not in the Western Hemisphere. They also don't hold a candle technologically to Great Britain. They do, however, have the ability to mass produce and to manufacture wholesale. They have mass quantities and numbers. Also, their stuff works with a minimum amount of maintenance now. The stuff that's fallen apart, the reason it's fallen apart is people in Russia went, well, it doesn't need much maintenance, so they just didn't do it. Comes down to laziness. We got that going on here too. How about I'm lucky I don't live in Great Britain because of universal health care, right? They won't let you see your GM. You really need to see your GM, but they won't let you schedule an appointment with your GM except every 3 months. So if you're in Great Britain, that's what you got to deal with. Of course, if you go into a hospital here in the United States of America, there's one of two things. Either you got good insurance or you're treated like a crackhead, no in between. Oh yeah, and by the way, it's going to cost you so much. If a British person were to be injured in the United States and have to pay that out of pocket before leaving the country, they might be stuck here for a few decades, depending on the severity of your injuries. Some cases, a 2-day stay in the hospital can cost you over $100,000. A 1-day stay having a baby can cost you over $150,000. Boy, am I lucky I don't live in Great Britain. Are you sure? I've had a few Brits tell me that. Now, when it comes to Germany, I can agree. I can agree there. In Germany, you're not allowed to record anybody. You're not allowed to record. So if somebody lies to you, and you have to take their word for it, they get away with it. Well, screw Germany. Well, I'm told that Germans treat the homeless better than most places in Europe. So the Nazis are more humane than the Brits. Is that a horrible thing to say? That's how many people see it today. Here in the United States, we can't stop playing World War II enough. That's where America became a powerhouse and started chomping on everything. Of course, we've lost literally every war that we've fought since. Call it a victory all you want. It was a short occupation. And America lost in the end, did they not? Again, same thing in Vietnam, same thing in Korea. In Great Britain, they want to follow suit with America. Our populations are getting bigger. Everything's getting more expensive. You have to work far too hard to get way too little. And what little you get, you better have credit for, or you're going to get treated like shit. You think you're entitled to being treated like a human being. You're not. The Constitution says one thing and human bias says another. My predators did everything that they could to prevent any and all evidence from being shown in court. That doesn't just include the Bollingers. That includes the people that the Bollingers slandered my name to, such as the meth heads in Boulder, the officers in Colorado, the officers in Virginia. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm not a very nice guy. Well, not on the internet anyway. When I talk calmly and collectively, people don't hear my words. So when I'm abused and I try to turn it in and I'm trying to be heard, I'm talked over, talked down to. I'm trying to tell what happened, and I have people talking over me and selling their own narrative over the top of what I am saying. Except they weren't there and I was. Which means they're intentionally not listening to me. That does indeed and in fact show bias. The fact that their behaviors show that they have something to be afraid of and are in fact hiding something, well, it's time for show and tell. It's time for transparency. It's time to show the American public the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. You go ahead and show the world what a mean son of a bitch I am. I show the world what a mean son of a bitch I am. I don't regret what I've had to do. I regret that I had to do it. I'm not ashamed of the things that you forced me to do in desperation. I am ashamed that you forced me to do those things in desperation. I am ashamed of, well, the British people that I had to interact with over the situation. The Scottish, some of the Irish too. That's right, people. Folks got a hold of me from all over the world, including the United Kingdom. Daniel Apathy went to Greenwich Academy. Greenock Academy, I'm sorry. And I'm probably not pronouncing that right. We had a few wannabe MMA fighters who wanted to call me out from Great Britain. Well, come over here, son. You wanted to threaten to kill an innocent disabled man. For what? You wanted to harass me for what? Because you were fucking lied to. Between fessing up to the fact that you were wrong and abusing me more, you get more abusive. And you go out of your way to hide evidence. My request through all this for my safety, as an at-risk and disabled adult male, as the #1 victim of police. The number one victim of police shootings per capita. The number one most likely person to be murdered by a serial killer. I requested that someone go in with me and record it for my safety so I didn't have to go in alone, so that it wouldn't be their word versus mine. And that is literally what every single one of my friends has done. Gone as far out of their way to be as complacent as possible. Oh, if I just sit and do nothing, it'll eventually blow over. No, it won't. It didn't blow over. The abuse continued. I continued to speak out, and I continued to show evidence, including conversations with you. This will never blow over. Matter of fact, with the evidence that's already on the internet, and with the laws that are in place about pushing people to commit suicide, Kayla Trujillo of Longmont, Colorado, could go to prison for murder, according to Colorado law. The thing is, that was Peach's way of trying to help. When she wasn't willing to come forward, she figured she'd give me some ideas on how to kill myself. Yes, I did use one of those. One of the things that she told me I could do to kill myself, I did actually try. I screwed it up, and when I called up Brandon Edward Jeffson to tell him about it, you know what he said to me? He said, if you were going to kill yourself, you would have done it already. Meanwhile, Officer Cody Selhorse, he saw me with the mask on, knew I was trying to kill myself. He'd gotten a call that I was out there at the lake trying to kill myself. He drove up right behind my vehicle, saw that I was in fact trying to kill myself. He drove around to the other side of the lake to wait for me to die. Yeah. Then when I went to drive off, because it didn't kill me, Brandon Jeffson said to me, oh, if you were going to kill yourself, you would have done it already. That's when Cody Selhorse pulled his vehicle in front of me. We went down to the police station, and I told him for 3 hours, I gave him a statement about what had happened in Chapel, about what people in Chapel had done, and why, about the abuse in real life by people in Chapel. That was the first time that I spoke with officers in Chapel, Nebraska about the repeated assault, and thought that they might actually do something, because unlike every other where I had been blown off, this man sat in a room with me for 3 hours. Told me it was being recorded. His report on that 3 hours was 2 sentences long. Yeah. That was very, very early in 2018. I went to all the people I was told to go to, and they all told me it's not their job. Didn't find out what was going on or look at evidence, just told me it wasn't their job. These are our professionals that our taxpayer dollars are going to. All Scott DaCosta had to do was slander my name, ignore all crimes against me, and when I tried to turn him in, press false charges. It's that easy. Am I lucky I don't live in Great Britain? Why is it that after all this time I'm still free? Why is it they keep having to drop the charges and let me go? They pretend that I'm crazy to prevent me from turning in evidence. And then they call me sane so that they can still prosecute me. Not legal, folks. See, these idiots keep wanting to separate it into individual crimes. It's individual crimes. It is a series of crimes over very serious events. All of the crimes committed against me are all committed over one thing. Selfishness. Every single one of them. Every single crime committed against me since I left Virginia has been over Natalie Bollinger's lies. I did have to make my decisions based on those lies. I had to make my decisions based on my safety and the safety of my loved ones. I had to try to get help because somebody who was a friend of mine got embarrassed while fucked up on heroin. Poor dear. And then you want to say poor her because she had someone blow her fucking head off. Instead of being selfish, she should have done what it is that I had asked for. When her friends and family wanted to contact me and threaten to kill me, what did I tell them? Do it! Stop talking about it and do it! Leave me alone or do it! One or the other! The fact that Tim Beeson said that he was going to do this to me, and then he actually did it, and even with the detectives in Natalie Bollinger's case getting to see that with their own two eyes, they helped him to get away. You tell me I'm lucky I don't live in Great Britain. In Great Britain, you matter even less. Is that true or no? I've never been British and I've never been to Britain, but there seems to be an awful lot of Brits who wanted to get involved. A bunch of Aussies who wanted to get involved. A few Kiwis too. Wanted to get involved. Now you got two types. You've got the ones who want to boss people around, tell them what to think and what to feel, and call that help. And then you've got the predators who want to threaten, harass, and intimidate, bully, and assault. And then when you react, they play victim. This is never okay. The fact is, when you try to turn in law enforcement in America, everyone who works for the government is going to cover for them. Everyone who gets taxpayer dollars is going to throw the law right out the window and protect those officers. Now, we established already when George Floyd was murdered, we established already that the other officers who are involved can also be charged and sentenced. But you have to catch them. I did catch them. I didn't catch the ones in George Floyd's case. Somebody else recorded that. Recordings make all the difference in the world. That's why police repeatedly went out of their way to prevent me from recording things, to create for me environments and scenarios by which I would not be capable or allowed to record. When it comes to homeless people, all of these people are on the same side. They've all been taught the same bias as you. None of them are going to give two shits about a homeless person being framed for crimes that he didn't commit, or any of the assaults that took place as a result. They tried to frame me for killing Natalie. They tried to frame me as a person who assaults police officers. I was Waylon Lolatai, folks. Did I kill Natalie Bollinger? Nope. By her own words, we never had sex. By her own words, her and her dad did. But you don't want to pay attention to that, do you? Natalie was evil and cruel to me. She did horrible things to me. She was able to do those things from a distance. She was able to have people in Boulder, Colorado harm me from Virginia. She was in Virginia. All she had to do was make a phone call. And Maddie Boa made sure that people hurt me. You want to tell me that's okay? I asked for my friends to go in with me to help turn in crimes before Natalie was killed. I tried to get help collecting that evidence and showing it before Natalie was killed. I paid a lot of money to people for help doing those things. Before Natalie died, I advertised $20 an hour for help. Everything, every hoop that I jumped through, for every one of my friends who said if I jump through this expensive hoop or that expensive hoop, they'll help me. What I needed was a friend or a family member to go in with me right away when I was fucking harmed. When I was fucking assaulted, I did not need my friends telling me, oh, just let it go. Oh, by the way, why don't you come see me again? Well, the last time I tried to see you, I was assaulted. And you tell me to just let it go, you fuck! Joanna Taylor Smith said that she would help me put a stop to it. What happened when I went there for her help? When I traveled there at my expense, it was fucking expensive. I got to listen to her boyfriend fucking at me for 3 days and then fucking assault me. Both of them talked over me the whole fucking time. Why didn't my friends come forward about the fact that I went to them for help? Because they didn't fucking help. And people are fucking dead because of it. You goddamn right they're gonna fucking hide like cowards. Which is why I recorded them and put them on my YouTube, and that's why they want to throw tantrums like children. You're all disgusting, regardless of what country you're from. Literally thousands of crimes have been committed against me in the last 6 years because, well, a lot of people promised that they would help, but they couldn't get past their own bullshit. This became so complicated that it is fucking impossible to explain it. The number of times I have written it down, typed it up, written it on their official parchment, gone in to turn it in, followed the official crap that I'm told to follow. Over and over again, I would have officers who are assigned to investigate themselves. These mandated reporters have 24 hours to turn it in. That's what they have. At this point, Tillamook Adventist Health, well, I recorded them today. I got them to slander themselves on the telephone. Well, the lady on the telephone didn't slander herself. She passed the buck on to somebody else. I believe a lady named Becky, or Betsy, possibly. That's right, this lady is playing telephone. Literally. Her name is Gina. We were sent on a wild goose chase, 7 different places. The lucky thing for me is that there are cameras on at the hospital, especially in the corridors, especially in the emergency room, for the safety of the patient. Also, fortunately for me, they're not allowed to destroy that evidence. So, the audio recordings, they do show a lot. But the actual physical assault is on their cameras, regardless of anything at all whatsoever that was said. It is never okay to assault someone, not even if you're a fucking doctor. What did he choose to do? He chose to physically assault me. This is never okay. Video and audio devices need to be in those places at all points in time for the safety of our patients, for the safety of our citizens, for the safety of our grandparents and our children and our grandchildren. These people need to be held accountable. Hospitals horribly abusing somebody because an officer that they're trying to turn in lied. How is that acceptable? I try to turn in an officer. That officer gets to arrest me in retaliation immediately. When I go to people to try to turn in the abuse against the officer, they try to talk me out of it. Meanwhile, what does the officer do? Arrests me on false charges and takes me to jail and tells the jailers I'm schizophrenic. Or he takes me to the hospital and he tells the hospitals that I'm schizophrenic. In either of those situations, am I going to be fucking heard or am I going to be treated like I'm schizophrenic? Now you are starting to understand, possibly, but probably not. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's. And no victim left behind, not even if they're homeless, you son of a bitch.